From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the North State. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
Well, quick programming note. I want you to know that my most comprehensive fire coverage will be in the morning forecast and on Coffee with Kruger at 7 a.m. I'll typically give some detailed information on those fire perimeters and during the 6 a.m. weather forecast. However, sometimes new data comes in around the time that I do Coffee with Kruger, which is live at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, and I'll go into even more in-depth review of the fire perimeters, some of the recent fire activity that we've seen, and what we expect fire weather-wise moving forward as well. It's most comprehensive. It's also when you can get interactive on Coffee with Kruger at 7 a.m. as well. You can ask questions about your local community and how it may be impacting your community, for example. Now, if you can't watch at 7 a.m., you can watch the recorded version of it by going here, weathernorcal.com, click on this banner right here, and it'll take you to Coffee with Kruger. Now, throughout the day, if you want the latest information, just click here on fire danger and you're good to go. And all this is coming in from weathernorcal.com. Check it out. All right, here's your weather headlines. The warming trend the rest of the week into the weekend, with overnight lows also increasing. You're going to notice the morning lows really staying fairly warm. And then, of course, we got that chance for more thunderstorms in the forecast, mainly for the higher elevations. But boy, we can't rule out maybe a little couple of raindrops in the valley as well. More on that here in just a little bit. Triple-digit heat will most likely extend into the valley here through all of next week. Here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance for tomorrow. A little hazy later on the day. I think more haze for places like Trinity County and Siskiyou County, and of course more of that smoke in Modoc County, the eastern mountains. But it's warming up. We're back up over 100 degrees here for the valley, and most likely in Trinity County as well. So there's that smoke. Now as we go into tomorrow morning, through the afternoon, there you can see there's 8 a.m. on Thursday. We're seeing more of that smoke and haze making its way into parts of Trinity County, Siskiyou County. But again, the most dense smoke will be off to the east of the valley, like we've seen over the last few days. As we take you into Thursday night, Thursday evening, again, most of that smoke and haze will be to the east and not to mention to the north and east of the valley. That's the case going into Thursday night as well. So that smoke will continue to be an issue, creating poor air quality, especially in parts of Plumas County and not to mention Lassen County as well. Now, the winds are something we got to monitor and watch very closely, as we typically see much calmer winds, most likely looking at the fire calming down a little bit as we go into the late night, early morning hours. But as those winds begin to pick up through the day on Thursday, coming in mainly from the south, that's going to maybe help to kind of reawaken parts of the fire. So that's something we have to watch here as those afternoon winds kick in. Then as we go into Friday, it's pretty much going to be a carbon copy. Same situation as those winds pick up through the day on Friday, coming in from the south and maybe even from the southwest. Kind of that rinse and repeat type of situation here with those winds overall. But remember, depending on the activity we have in the fires themselves can create those winds as well, those inflows coming in. So that can create its own problem. But it's also important to take a look at the overall trend with the winds as well to help us give an idea what to expect. Now you can see here, looking at the humidity levels, unfortunately, they'll be very dry into the single digits as we go into tomorrow afternoon. And it doesn't look like it improves much as we go into Friday. So the fire weather risk, there's the north end of the valley. This is where we expect some of the highest fire danger tomorrow, central Siskiyou County, and you can see that fire danger is increasing for Modoc County and Lassen County as well. There might be a minor improvement on Friday, but mainly in the valley, central Siskiyou County, and off to the north and east is where we continue to see some of that high fire danger. What that essentially means is, should a new fire start, the conditions are ripe for the fires to spread rapidly. And that's why we need to be extra careful. But what we can't control are lightning strikes. Now, looking at Saturday, this is just another particular source that we look at. It gives us the fire potential. And on Saturday, it's predicting the potential for lightning strikes. Now, we could see some as early as late in the day Friday, but it's going to be mainly a Friday night, Saturday event where we see the best chances. But I don't think it's going to be very widespread, and you'll see what I'm talking about. First, let's take you into tomorrow. We're going to be looking at that fog really persisting along the coast, by the way. It's going to be having a hard time burning off, so I think it's going to be mainly cloudy along the coast. But elsewhere, plenty of sunshine. Now we'll take you into Friday. Okay, so Friday around noon, we're beginning to see the monsoon moisture working its way northward. So we'll probably start to see an increase in that cloud cover throughout the afternoon on Friday. But on top of that, what do we have here? We've got rain coming on in. Now this is associated with that monsoon moisture. Now, this is also when we could see the potential for thunderstorms popping up in the mountains. You can kind of see right here some of that activity trying to pop up. So as we go through the afternoon on Friday, the chances will begin to increase. Friday evening, Friday night, we could see some of that making its way into the valley. But keep in mind, these are high base showers and thunderstorms, meaning they're high in the atmosphere. The rain has a long way to go through a very dry column of air before it reaches the ground. So a lot of times that rain can evaporate. But if that rain is heavy enough, it can still bring us in the form of sprinkles or light showers for parts of the valley. So it's not out of the question for us to see that, but it's also not out of the question for Friday afternoon to maybe even see some of those lightning strikes. But again, you see it's not very widespread. That's the case. So we're still seeing a lot of that monsoon moisture in place Friday night, Saturday morning. Could see a sprinkle or a light shower even in the valley, and then maybe some isolated showers or thunderstorms making their way into the mountains. Now, as we go into Saturday, it's not really picking up on much activity, but we could see some stray thunderstorms popping up in the higher elevations. Once again, it doesn't look to be all that intense and doesn't look to be very widespread. We're not going to see a ton of activity, but there'll be just enough that we could see some dry lightning strikes. And then by Saturday evening, that monsoon moisture moves out, not to mention Sunday. But there's actually some tropical activity down to the south that could push some moisture northward our way by next week, but that's a long way out. And a lot can happen between now and then. Let's just get through Friday and Saturday and see what happens after that. The cooler air starts to move on out of here. That's the reason why our temperatures have increased today. We'll keep our temperatures on the increase here over the next couple of days and keep them above 100 degrees here for most of us in the valley, not only through the weekend, but most likely going into next week as well. As you can see, that rotative high pressure will pretty much still be in place as we go through a good portion of next week. So in fact, we look at the 10-day trend, it doesn't look like it's going to be a major heat wave. The normal high for this time of the year in Redding is 100 degrees. So yeah, we'll be slightly above that, but this right here that we're seeing here, it's nothing unusual. We're used to it, but it should be upwards of 100 to 105 on average in the valley here for the next 7 to 10 days. Now the wave heights, we're not going to see a whole lot of increase here for your Thursday. And as we take you into your Friday, you have to look closely. The numbers don't really change a whole lot. So really the main concern, as I've been mentioning over the last several days, is that patchy dense fog. That's really going to be the main concern here if you do need to be on a small boat. So here's what it looks like tonight. Yeah, we're inching closer to that 70-degree mark for that overnight low. So yeah, some of us may struggle to get out of the 70s by tomorrow morning. And there you can see temperatures will be in the 50s for most of the higher elevations, low to mid 50s along the coast here for tonight. All right, let's take a look at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. It's going to be another hot day. Temperatures upper 90s to about 100 degrees, but of course some of the cooler spots like Mad River about 88 and Ruth about 94 degrees. All right, we take you off to the north coast, and there you can see for the coast, temperatures in the mid 60s, give or take. Mostly cloudy skies. I think over the next several days we'll be hard pressed to see some of that fog burn off. Temperatures are warming up inland, mainly in the mid to upper 90s to just a little over 100 degrees for the next 7 days. For Siskiyou County, same story. We also have that chance for thunderstorms coming in Friday and Saturday. And really for all of the mountains, including Trinity County, it's Friday, Saturday that we've got to keep our eyes on, all right? We take a look at Modoc County. Temperatures are going to be flirting with that triple-digit mark, but mainly in the mid to upper 90s. And for the eastern mountains, also mainly mid to upper 90s. There will be some days that we could reach 100 degrees for some of those mountain locations, but for the most part in the 90s. But for the valley, now to the south, again, a little hard pressed in some areas to quite reach that 100 degrees here, but for all intents and purposes, about 100 degrees here for tomorrow. And of course, warmer up to the north, getting closer to that 103 to 104 mark here for places like Redding, but Red Bluff will have about 102 degrees. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Temperatures will be basically between 103 and 106 degrees for the next 7 days. So no big changes. It's just this persistent triple-digit heat sticking around at least for the next 7 days, if not longer.
We're the locals down the street. The neighbor you come to for advice. A nest egg for the golden years. A loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service, while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.